Alright, my little pineapples and pears. Welcome back to Legend of Legaia. You may be wondering why we're back in Seoul. I told you at the end of the last episode I was going to be grabbing some side kind of stuff, and I'm going to be cutting the travel time out. Also, full disclosure, because it's the end of the game, and this isn't really breaking anything, even like the fact that, so at this point in the game, the only way to get from, the only way to get to or from Callisto Kingdom is either a Door of Wind, which are in short supply, and although there are enemies that I can steal them from, it would break the game more for me to, farm the items from them, because I would wind up grinding a bunch of experience and, take away a little bit of the challenge. So I can either use a Door of Wind or, to get to or from Callisto Kingdom, or I can use the Flying Suru, which is now in full operation at this stage of the game. You can take it clean from Callisto Kingdom to Octum. The issue is that they're fucking capitalist pigs, and they will charge you $200 to do it, each time. So, I am going to be breaking the Communist Challenge for the purposes of buying Doors of Wind only. And really only a handful, and that's just so I can make the back and forth between Callisto for some of these side quests more, less ridiculous. You can go from like the far side of the Drake Kingdom all the way to Dahadi's castle on foot, no problem. It's just Callisto Kingdom that you have to pay money to get to. It's really kind of stupid, but anyway. We're in Seoul now, and the reason we're in Seoul is because, so after you beat Songi, I'm not sure what plot relevance this has, but for whatever reason, after you beat Songi, if you have learned everybody's arts, like if like Vaughn, for instance, I've learned all of Vaughn's arts, we've beaten Songi, and so each character has a specific Genesis tree they can go to that will get their Rasuru one final level up. And this is the kicker, it also gives you summon magic for your Rasuru. Like, you can actually summon your Rasuru, like, in their full form. Which, up until this point, you didn't know they had a full form. They do. The pieces that you wear are really just fragments of them. They are much larger entities as in their totality, I guess, than has been implied throughout the game. That his true powers have come out. So, now, we go to Vaughn's magic, and he's got fucking meta. Now, the Suru that you... there's other Rasuru that you can get in much the same fashion as Horn, and they are cheaper. They only cost 200 MP as opposed to a whopping 240, and I think that's to balance out the fact that you don't have to equip anything to get this. Once you sort of unlock this, you have it forever, and you don't have to equip anything to get it. So I guess it has a higher MP cost to compensate. But anyway, there's 4 Genesis trees total that we have to go hit up. So there's this one in Seoul. Then we have to go all the way back to Mount Rikaroa to get Noah's. And then to the East and West Vaz forests to get Gala's, and also to get the Dark Egg, which is the counterpart to the Light Egg that we use to get Horn. There's also a Water and an Earth Egg, and I may briefly show them, after, as a Easter egg at the end of the last episode or something. But they are almost I would say that they are... I don't have the brain power right now to calculate how difficult they'd be to get in a playthrough where you can't spend money. The Earth Rasura you get by beating the Muscle Dome enough times to amass 100,000 coins, and then you can buy the egg. And then the Water Rasuru you get by playing the fucking fishing minigame. And I think you guys all know from my Nier playthrough, as well as probably a couple of other RPGs. Anything else said? Fishing. You guys know how I feel about fishing in RPGs. I think it's just fucking stupid. I don't like fishing in real life. I sure as hell don't fucking like it in video games. So I've never done that. I think I've just, like, grinded money and then bought the points and then bought the fucking egg. But, yeah. I may just cut to another save file just so you guys can see the animations, but, you know. Anyway, so I'm going to cut briefly while I go to Mount Mercury. I'll cut back in for each, you know, sort of scene with the Genesis trees, and then we'll go from there. Alright guys, so here we are at Mount Rikaroa. It's been a while. Well, actually it hasn't been a while. The Surukai dumped us out here at the end of the last episode. Normally you would get these in order. You know, you would just get Noah's right here. I just chose to get them in the order of the character listing, I guess. I don't know, whatever. You know, but yeah. You hear a voice from beyond the Genesis tree. Noah and Terra, human and Ross travel from the past. Oh my god, Teague now gives you the power to use the last of his power to correct history, whatever. Yeah, so neither Terra nor Ausmus ever get to level, you know, ever get above level 8 or 7, respectively. You know, I always thought it was kind of weird that they don't get up to level 9 like Meta does, and like all other Suru can, but it really doesn't, I think the game's balanced around it. I don't really think it makes an actual difference in power, but anyway. Next stop, East/West Vaz Forest. Welcome back once again. Here we are in the, well, this is the East Vaz Forest. Even though Ausmus technically comes from the West Vaz Forest, that's where his egg actually came from, you come here to get Gala and Ausmus's final thingamajig. So, let's get it. Gala, Ausmus, you're a human and live in the present. See, Teague sends you the last of his powers so that you may correct history now, or whatever. Yeah, Ausmus gets to level 7. True powers have come out. Now, at this point, I'm actually going to stop for a second and give you guys the treat of viewing each of these ridiculous summons. So, I'm just gonna... Well, first of all, I'm gonna take off my encounter down. You know, because reasons. So we'll do that, and then we'll just do our best to get in a fight somehow. Get in 3 fights, rather, so that you guys can see all 3 of these monstrosities. They are pretty ridiculous, although they're... The most ridiculous thing about them is the fact that they hit all enemies. But technically, they don't... I don't think they are particularly more powerful against a single enemy than your Miracle Arts, although I could be remembering that wrong, and that could have changed significantly, you know, with me not using any gear, but we'll see. Oh, and real quick, I do also want to show you guys their Suru, who are now, like, at their max possible level. They just kind of zoom in here and let you guys see, like, Terra doesn't look that much different. Meta is fucking huge, and Ausmus is also fucking huge and ends in a big, like, saucer blade kind of thing. One interesting thing that I will show you is Noah's Rasuru attack now hits twice. And that's pretty cool to look at, so I'll just show that to you real quick. Yeah, pretty insane, right? 16 hits. Yeah, pretty bananas. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's see meta here. There she is, if I understand correctly. Anyway, she looks like a gigantic fucking kind of like shogun samurai kind of looking thing, I guess. I do really enjoy the animations here and the sound effects, and also just it's the again, like, you have to appreciate how insane these graphics were at the time. I mean, you know, the Final Fantasy series definitely, yeah, like, check meta out, like, Jesus fucking Christ. The Final Fantasy series definitely had its, you know, the FMV sequences and stuff like that, and the, you know, movies. But like the in-combat graphics and animations in this game, I think, are really fucking choice. Like, really good. Anyway, so next up is Terra. And Terra has kind of like this really otherworldly, haunting sort of summon animation. A lot of people don't like it, but I like it. I think it's good. None of them are particularly more powerful than the other. Like, Meta does like 2 hits of around like, you know, 2.7, 2.8k. So, you know, about 55k, or about 5,500 total. And I think Terra's is also split up into 2 hits, yeah. So like there's that first hit. Yeah, this is really like haunting and bizarre. Yeah, I love that animation. I love the sound effects too. Like, it's really otherworldly and haunting. Like, I dig it. And then Ausmus is a little different. Ausmus hits, I think there's like one big hit of like, you know, 2,000-3,000, and then there's like 4 or 5 little hits of about 700 apiece, but it adds up to the same amount. Remember that stupid fucking weed hammer? Never ever used it at any other point in the game ever. Alright. So now it's Ausmus' turn. I think Ausmus' animation is probably the most popular one. Like, people really dig this fucking thing. There he is. He looks like an Ausmus. Yeah, like this really quiet, ominous charging is really fucking cool. Yeah, so there's like a couple of wind-up hits and then a big hit. Fuck yeah, Ausmus. Alright, cutting out. I will meet you guys at West Voz Forest. Like, man, I should know east and west. Like, left and right, not getting those mixed up is one thing, but like east and west, come on. Anyway, be right back. Alright guys, so here we are, back in the West Voz Forest. Now here you find another Rossuru egg, much like the light one that we got from Terra. These Rossuru eggs contain the Rossuru of the other elements, aside from the ones that our characters correspond to, obviously. Those being earth, water, dark, and light. So we already have the light one. We're not going to be able to get the water or earth ones, or at least I'm not going to show. I'll you know, like I said, I'll load a save file where I have them and show them to you, but probably not going to try and get them in this playthrough. But the Dark Rossuru, particularly for how powerful it is, you know, the Earth and Water ones are not any stronger, really, than Meta, Terra, or Ozma, and in fact, in practice, they tend to be weaker because each character's Rossuru summon is boosted by virtue of it being their Rossuru and matching their element. And so, while Noah can do more damage with Mule, the Water Rossuru, and Vaughn can do more damage with Palma, which is the Earth Rossuru, this still doesn't really match their, you know, their default Rossuru. But this one, the Darkstone. This gives us the Dark Rossuru, but we have to take it back to Jeremy and have Zalin, you know, basically repair it for us. And I'll continue explaining that when we come back in. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and head over there. And then once I get there, we'll come back in and I'll finish this train of thought. Alright guys, here we are back in Jeremy. I'm going to talk to Zalin here. And just like the light egg, he's going to take the dark stone and he's going to turn it into the dark talisman that will let us summon the dark Rossuru, whose name is Cheeto. And, you know, for this Suru being, you know, obviously you don't get him until way, way late in the game, but he's remarkably easy to get compared to, say, you know, Mule and Palma. Especially given his power. Yes. I think he does slightly less damage-wise than Meta, Terra, and Ozma. You know, just like the, you know, just because he doesn't 100% match their elements. Vaughn is the best user of Jito. And Dark Suru in general. But, and this doesn't work on bosses, but anytime you use him against regular enemies, he instantly kills them. Like, it's instant annihilation. Like, just like Naito and Aluru can sometimes do, he does that 100% of the time. So, like, granted, there's not many normal enemies in the game that will tolerate 4,000 damage without dying. Except for, like, I think some of the later enemies in the final dungeon. But still, like, in the final, you know, even just in the final dungeon, like, it's pretty ridiculous to have. Especially, like, in the final dungeon that we're going to go to in this episode, every single random encounter always has 3 enemies, and they are always level 3 versions of the various Suru in the game. And once you get deep into the dungeon, you start encountering like level 3 Gilliams. And those things are like... Those things are... Well, they're... Level 3 Gilliams are, like, bar none, the most powerful regular enemy in the game. They still aren't, like, boss tier, really. And they don't have, like, a crazy amount of HP, but the fact that there's 5 of them, and each of them has, like, you know, it takes, like, generally it takes, like, a full force attack from 2 characters to take one down, so, like, you're looking at 3 turns minimum to clear out one of those fights, and they hit pretty hard, they have decent defense, they block a good bit, they also float. So, you know, your low hits don't land, and, you know, the Thunderstorm attack from a level 3 Gilliam does really hurt. Although it's frankly not anywhere near as bad as the level 3 Pueras, but they have a lot less HP. I totally forgot to equip the egg. So I'll just fast forward through this real quick. And I'll go ahead and equip it. So you guys can see. Dark Talisman. So, this is never actually confirmed in-game. There it is, Jito, Deadly Promise. These do level up, by the way. Although I don't know if it actually remembers the levels from when you use it in previous instances. Let me see if maybe Gala's Horn is leveled up. Maybe I can see if it... Obviously your Rasaru dude, but I don't know if it remembers. Yeah, it does, okay. So like if you equip the Light Talisman on Gala and he uses Horn for a little while and levels it up to level 3 and then you take the Light Talisman off, it's not going to forget the levels. So for all intents and purposes, every character has the Suru. They just can only summon it and use it while they have the item equipped. Anyway, it's generally accepted in the fan base of this game that although it is... I want to emphasize, this is never actually confirmed 100% in-game. It's just very, very, very strongly implied. Because, you know, you get the Darkstone in the West Vaz Forest, which is where you got Ozma, and then you woke Ozma up at the East Vaz Forest. But the East Vaz Forest is Genesis Tree. If you remember, we didn't find an egg there, and Noah was like, what? Where's the egg? And it's like, oh, it's already gone, you know, whatever. And I think the roster just chalked that up to like, oh, well, they probably took it to, you know, using a misgenerator or whatever, but it was actually... The fan base believes that to be, you know, because of what Zongi said. He said, my Rasaru grew... My Suru grew from a Rasaru egg in the East Vaz Forest. You know, from the East Vaz Forest, and that would be Jito. It's just never mentioned by name or ever confirmed, and Jito doesn't necessarily look like the Rasaru that he has at any stage, really. You know, Jito's colors are like, you know, like bone white and like black and like accents of like red and dark brown, whereas Songi's Suru is very clearly like purplish in most iterations, and then that final iteration it's, you know, all red and infected and kind of green and yellow and weird looking. Doesn't look anything like Jito at all, and at any stage, nor do any of Songi's attacks really invoke the aesthetic of Jito as we're about to witness it. So again, never confirmed in game, but most people accept Jito as being Songi's Rasaru. You know, against his will, presumably, you know. Apparently, you know, Jito had been, you know, was weakened and you know, basically somehow or whatever, and they basically took him and fucked him up and experimented on him and melded him with a Simsuru. So some people think Jito is like actually evil, but I think that's bullshit. You know, just because something's dark doesn't mean it's evil. But yeah, that's Jito. Jito's pretty fucking badass. Like, he's got a fucking scythe and shit. Yeah, it literally doesn't even show you damage against regular enemies. You have to use it against a boss in order to see how much damage it does. But yeah, that wraps that up. Gonna go ahead and head over to the final dungeon. At this point in the game, also, you can go to the Muscle Dome and enter in the contest, and if you run away, I think 5 times, or I think it's once from each difficulty level, if you run away from all of them, you get an item called the Chicken King, which I think either increases your rate of running away or like increases your stats while you're running away, something, I don't fucking know. It's just a completion thing. I probably will go grab it in between episodes, but not right now. For now, I just want to get done. I want to get all the way through to the dungeon so you guys can have seen it, and then the final episode we can devote to the final boss and the super boss. Alright, I'm going to cut out and I'll see you guys there. Alright everybody, so at long last we have returned to Rimhelm, and I basically walked in, this cutscene started. You haven't missed any dialogue, so here we go. Vaughn's obviously having feelings, I mean, because this is his hometown, so even silent protagonists are likely to be sad. Yeah, like what we observed in Concrum, there's definitely concern at this point that, you know, even if they succeed in, you know, destroying Juggernaut, that everyone in Rimhelm may still be jolly well fucked. Yes, Noah. I understand that the same thing happened to you. That doesn't make anything better. Why would he not be ready? He's the fucking... I mean, I don't know. I guess... I mean, I guess I can understand that. Vaughn, you're alright now. You're alright, aren't you? Yes. As you know, it's like, of course, you want to be brave and courageous. You've been brave and courageous up to this point, but you know, it's different when you think that, you know, success might mean literally the opposite of rescuing everybody, and instead, like, killing them. Albeit the alternative being that they remain, you know, cocooned in the flesh of this creature, basically, that has basically turned himself inside out and pretzeled around the entire town. Everything we did together, everything we are going to do, it will never, ever, ever, ever be undone. That's why what? That's why nothing. You don't know what you're talking about. Shut up. Hold on a second. Had to procure myself a beverage there. Anyway, so I think you guys already kind of saw me fight some of the Gimmerds and Theaters and Veras that appear out here. The level 3 versions. They're really nothing special. They're, you know, a level... I mean, obviously, like, the level 3 versions of the Suru that we encountered in the beginning of the game are, like, exponentially stronger than their level 2 versions, whereas, you know, there's really not that much difference between, what am I trying to say? Between, like, a level 2 Gilliam and a level 3 Gilliam. But even though the difference is huge, they're still pretty weak, and they have, like, crappy defense, so like a lot of the Suru like outside Juggernaut in this area are, I mean, of course, like, what kind of JRPG would this be if you didn't crawl inside the belly of some creature and kill it from the inside out? Yeah. So basically they're gonna use the same shit that they use to, you know, invigorate Genesis trees to basically make an incision in Juggernaut's face. So they torch the shield, and then that is supposedly Juggernaut's mouth, only it looks like it's been, you know, skinned alive, basically. Or something, I don't know. Brace yourselves, it's gonna be a wild ride. Yeah, aren't you just party hardy? Anyway, in we go. There is but one save point in this dungeon, and it is all the way at the very end, right before the final boss. Which, you know, I would say that's better than it being at the very beginning. You know? Anyway, this is the inside of Juggernaut. Yes, it is gross. Yes, there is all sorts of, like, wiggly, wobbly, like, internal organs and floppy, you know... Like, 9 times out of 10, you either look like you're inside of a vagina or inside a field of penises, basically. Like, it's just really... Yeah. Or, like, inside an asshole. Like, this is like a, you know, stair steps made of penises, and, like, a, you know, big, long penises as the railings. And then, like, here you've got, like, the fucking colon, I guess. Why there are steps here, I'll never understand. Anyway, at this point in the game, you can go ahead and absorb, like, a shit ton of Suru that you missed. And they tend to have higher absorption rates, although the increase in those rates, like, I don't know, like Nido's absorption rate, I think is like 30% or something like that at level 1. At level 3, it's like 60 or 70%, so... Although I think everybody has Nido. Well, Vaughn definitely has him. Does Noah? Yeah, Noah has him. And does Gala? Yeah, Gala has him too. Alright, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah. And the other thing is, a lot of the level 3 Suru will have upgraded versions of their special attacks. So, you know, that is something to watch out for. Ultrasound we're familiar with, but the I-beam thing, that was weird. The other thing is that a lot of these level 3 Suru have either, you know, endgame tier consumables like healing berries and shit to steal. And then later in the dungeon, like level 3 slipperies, you can steal lost grails from those things. Granted, it's rare, and you'll probably be doing it for a hot minute to try and get more than a couple. But, you know, that can easily break what little is left of the game. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump the mic there. But still good to know. And then probably the single best steal that you can get in this dungeon is against the worst possible Suru, which is the level 3 Pueras. And when they use Death Game, there is basically all but one of the cards kills you, and the only remaining card kills the Puera. So not only does that make it a pain in the ass, but it also makes it... not only does that, you know, generally make it a pain in the ass, but it also makes it very difficult to try and absorb them, especially because they're, you know, fast. But if you're playing on a normal playthrough, I think you can get more than one evil god icon. And so what you can do is you can, you know, equip... I can't remember if you can get 3, but I know you can get 2. So you can equip those on separate people and just go farming. And the level 3 Pueras occasionally drop Crimson Books. And Crimson Books, I don't think they double your experience, but they either double it or they increase it by 50%, which is still significant. Even with that, though, there's like an extremely steep drop-off after level 50 in the leveling curve, and also in the amount of stats you gain to level. Like once you get up past level 50, the gains that you get from each level are really small. But all the same. So I'm going to cheat a little bit here, and at this point, I'm going to start using the equipment that we've amassed so far. And I'm only going to do that until we get to the end of the dungeon, and then I'm going to take it all off for the super boss and the final boss. Because I really don't think I need to prove anything against trash in this dungeon, even though it does get harder later on. But the main reason I'm doing this is because, first of all, you get a complete set of gear in this dungeon for every single character, and all of it is, like, the best. So you get everybody's best weapon, everybody's best headpiece, body piece, and leg piece. All of them are in this dungeon. And they all, generally, they all look pretty fucking cool, and I don't want to deny you guys the chance to see that. And appreciate, like, the character models having, like, an updated look and, you know, looking all badass and shit, so... So, yeah, each battle... Yeah, so after this battle, I'll put that on. So for each battle, I'll add a new piece of equipment that we've encountered. So that's Vaughn's ultimate body piece. These other pieces of equipment that everybody has are just like the crappy weapons and armor that we've accumulated throughout the game. Like that sword is from like Zito's dungeon, and you know those claws are decent, but that robe is again from like Drake Kingdom. And that axe is... Actually, I think that axe is from... I think that axe is actually... It's either from the Floating Castle or the Absolute Fortress, but it's the only upgrade that Gala ever got. Was to his weapon. Alright. I think actually, you know, those Crimson books that I mentioned, I think you get one in this dungeon anyway. There is one in a treasure chest. So you do get at least one. So you're probably going to observe a vast increase in damage and damage taken for like all the characters as I go through this dungeon and upgrade all my gear. Again, it's just to kind of show it off because I think all of it looks really cool. Ow. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, the level 3 Novas really aren't bad. I don't think any of these Suru really start getting particularly scary until... Yeah, honestly, I don't even remember. The only ones that really have ever stood out to me are the level 3 Pueras and the level 3 Gilliams. You know, other than that, the main thing that's a pain about all these encounters is the fact that they are... what am I trying to say? They all come in threes. You never encounter less than 3 enemies in here, ever. So, you know, get used to that. Let's see here. May as well go ahead and get everybody's orbs level up to 9. And that way I can heal with those outside of battle. Yeah, see, look at these things. It's like either bacon, sausages, penises, or some really fucked up combination of all three growing out of this thing's insides. This whole dungeon's just gross. You know, but bizarrely appropriate. And I love how they're still in the background for this. I love the level 3 orbs, by the way. Like, they look, I think they're very pretty looking. Oh, I totally forgot to put on Noah's robe. That's my bad. I'll go ahead and cut this out. I'll hop back in when we got another fight to show that to you guys. Alright, so just around the corner, got another encounter here. And there is Noah's best body piece. It does look kind of silly. Personally, in terms of looks, Noah's, which, you know, we're never going to see this because I didn't buy any of it, but the best set of armor that you can get for Noah up until immediately prior to this dungeon, I think is the coolest one. It's like this dark sort of violet purple color with like blood red trim, and then she has these greaves, and she has a headpiece that actually has horns that hang off of it. And her headpiece that she gets with this one looks really dumb in my opinion. But you know, you get over it. I mean, it's more powerful, so that's what matters. But like her final best armor set looks really, in my opinion, girly, in a way that isn't really flattering. And I don't mean that in a sexual sense. You know, fucking Noah is like 12 years old. I mean that in like from as feminist a standpoint as possible. Like, I mean, she looks like a princess in a castle, like when she gets that armor set complete, whereas her prior set of armor, the one that I like, looks more like she's like, you know, more like something that, you know, somebody might, you know, looks more combat ready, basically. It's still not really armor, but I mean, you know, it at least looks, it at least kind of has that, you know, warrior monk kind of look, I guess. And you guys aren't even going to recognize Gala once he puts on something other than that stupid fucking blue jumpsuit. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god, die, for fuck's sake. I do not remember these things taking this long to kill. Like, at all. Yeah, whatever. I would actually, you know, I was considering doing this and I forgot up until now, but I think I'm gonna start using Suru in these battles just because, you know, when you're guaranteed 3-on-3 battles, some of the AoE magic Suru become like, become much more appealing as ways to spend your turns. So I think I'll definitely spend time, you know, spend some time softening people up with those. I'm not going to do anything, like, I'm not going to use, like, the Rasuru just because their animations are long. Anyway, here's Gala's bit. Everybody gets their body piece first. You get them, like, you know, they come in sets. There we go. Still have not touched the Ivory book this entire playthrough. So, you know, anybody who is, you know, playing through this game and they're down in the dumps about like how long it's taking them to absorb Suru, I mean, just look at this. Like, I've got most of the Suru in the game for everybody. Definitely missing some significant ones, but still, like, not bad for like never having equipped an Ivory book. Like, so it's possible. You can do it. Believe in yourself. Let me look at the MP costs here. So I remember I mentioned to you guys, Iota is probably the most MP efficient AoE Suru. But some other ones are good too. Like, I mean, I think Slippery can poison. I can't honestly 100% remember. I think honestly I'm just gonna you know, use whatever the most you know, whatever element of Suru I encounter, I'm gonna use whatever is strong against them, and I'm gonna have whoever is best with that element use it. And you know, whatever the strongest Suru I have for that is, you know, what I'll use. It won't always do like great damage, but I mean, it'll at least soften like all of them up at once. So, all right, Gola Gola. So that would be Noah using. Man, you know, like, I'm not actually sure if Freed would be better, because I like Freed, don't get me wrong, but like, and Gizam is hands down going to be weaker, but it will also poison them. You know what? Fuck it. Actually, you know what? First, I'm going to Spirit with these guys, and then, yeah, I'll have Noah use Gizam. And, yeah, there we go. Just to make these battles a little more interesting, you know. Why not? Why not, relive some of these summon animations. Yeah, so like kind of pitiful, and I don't know if that poison's gonna stick more than one turn, but you know. See how much damage it does at the end of the turn. God damn, they really hate Noah. Yeah, look at that armor piece. 75 apiece. Oh, well, it looks like they're still poisoned. So that's, you know, not the worst. Nice. Man, that was like a good combo for... Oh my god, Vaughn finally got Gola Gola. Jesus. Like, he's fire elemental and he doesn't even have the... embarrassingly, the strongest fire Suru. I don't know why they made fire so underpowered. Yes, I guess it kind of makes some sense. I mean, like, the power of the elements of fire, wind, and thunder in this game are pretty much directly proportional to... I never actually noticed this, but now that I think about it. The power of each character's element of Suru is pretty much directly proportionate to that character's general effectiveness with magic. Actually, no, I take that back. That's bullshit. Because Noah is the worst with magic, so it makes sense that Thunder Suru are overall the strongest in the game, because Gala's magic is is the highest, and so is his MP. But Noah's, conversely, is the lowest, but Wind Suru are definitely not the weakest in the game. I think the only thing that sucks about Wind Suru is that they're all single target, and none of them are the most MP efficient for that purpose. But, you know, it is what it is. Tra-la-la-la-la. We are almost halfway, for those of you wondering. It seems like it's taking forever. I hate this part so much. Basically, what you have to do is you jump into the rapids of these weird bodily fluids and shit, and like I love how it calls them rapids, like it's a fucking river. It's fucking bodily fluids. It's like blood and pus and God knows what the fuck ever else. Basically, you have to mash the X button or the confirm button or whatever you have it set to, while also holding in the direction of where you want to get off. And if you miss it or mistime it or aren't pushing those buttons, you'll go all the way around and get spit back out here. So it's you know, it's obnoxious. Anyway, so yeah, you want to hold up and, you know, be mashing the X button, and then there you go. You smack your face on that big old floppy penis right there. Look at that! That's a fucking dick. That is a fucking cock right there. Alright, so yeah, we just got a Crimson book, and it doesn't tell me how much more experience, but I'm pretty sure it's 50%. I'm not going to equip it right now, though, because honestly, it's not worth it right this second. I mean, it is worth it. Like, this is the best place to grind experience, so all the better with the Crimson book, but I don't feel like sacrificing any of my more functional gear for it at the, you know, at the present moment. Yeah, so after this, we start getting headpieces, but I can't remember if there's more treasure on the other side here. Maybe there is. Maybe there isn't. No, I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off. Leave me alone. Okay. I don't know why. Okay. Maybe I'm full of shit. Maybe you don't have to push any buttons, because I actually aimed away from it that time. Okay. I actually don't know what buttons you have to push to confirm that. Now we're going to head into this butthole here. Now we're in another set of intestines, only these ones have ribs for some reason. I don't really know what's up with that. But, you know, whatever. Who designed this fucking thing? Like, I'm not talking about the game designers, but like, you know, in the mythology of the game, like who fucking, like, just, ugh. The concept of Simsuru is just so bizarre. What? So these are Viguros? Okay, so Viguros actually... So Thunder Element Suru don't actually have a weakness. But, I don't know, I can't recall the elemental affinities at this point. Basically, like... Thunder Suru isn't really strong or weak against anything. It does have some, like, slight... I mean... In terms of, like, damage, like, thunder damage isn't strong against anything, but it's also not weak against anything. And then, like, defensively, thunder element characters, I think they take slightly more damage from, like, dark and a couple, like, maybe one other element. And they take slightly less damage from light, but it's like a 25% resistance, whereas every other element has like 50% resistances or 50% weaknesses, so it's like a trade-off. I still find it weird that, like, you know, that they are, you know, what am I trying to say? That they are like the non-elemental, like most neutral element. I don't know. I just find it weird. So I actually didn't know that until this playthrough. Like, I never really looked up the elemental affinities, but I did for this playthrough, and I find them really intriguing. I mean, because you have an odd number of elements, right? There's 6 elements, or 7 elements in this game. You have earth, wind, water, and fire, which is, you know, kind of traditional. And you have light and dark. You know, earth and wind are opposed, fire and water are opposed, light and dark are opposed, and then you just have thunder just kind of shoehorned in there, which I've never really understood, but, you know, whatever. Nice. Okay, so that actually did enough damage to where... Yeah, I think all these guys are going to drop in one hit. Remember the 2 level 1 Figuros at the beginning of the game? Oh, man. Memories. God. It looks like a fucking... It almost looks like a fucking football jersey with, like, the padding underneath. I really need to get everybody's, like, next bits so that they look, like, less ridiculous. Yeah, hopefully you guys are impressed with and or appreciating the in-combat graphics. I wish more games did that. Or, I mean, I wished. Most games do it nowadays. Well, not most games, but like a significant chunk of them do. You know, where it's feasible. You know, I can see why they wouldn't show have graphical changes for every single piece of equipment in, say, like Final Fantasy 12, because that would just, like, that'd be a lot of work for them to do that, I think. But, you know, especially for, like, action RPGs, you see it a lot. But it was really unusual for an RPG, especially one of this nature, like, you know, a JRPG with, like, an overworld map and, like, sprites and villages and, you know, traditional RPG, JRPG style with random encounters and turn-based combat. Like, it was really rare to see that at this time. the purple Mushras cracked me up. Yeah, so we're clearly in, like, an artery of some kind, because there's, like, a 3-way fork here. North, or up from here is the way forward, you know, just so you guys know. Not that you want to skip any of this stuff on any normal playthrough, but normally you'll start in the south, and then you'll go counterclockwise up to the north to get all the treasure. Here we have a Rossero seal. So the seals, I know that it's like, wait, what the fuck is a seal? Seals are headpieces for Vaughn, basically. We got that. The one nice thing about these dumbass rapids is that at least there's no random encounters. But anyway, this now loops back around. And then you kind of just wind back up where you started. Or, well, actually, this is... Okay, so it's actually a 2-way fork. Yeah, that's what always confuses me, is because I always get to this fork and I'm like, okay, so there's 3 different paths. But this path is just an outlet from the other 2 paths to get back. So anyway, you go right from there. Okay, this is where the other fork is. So continue up. If you continue up this path, you move forward in the dungeon. But we want treasure, so we're gonna get fucking treasure. Anyway, right, and then there's another stupid ass fork, and you come this way. Wait, what? That is totally not the direction I was holding. But okay, whatever. Jeez. Rossero plume. Alright, so we'll wait one more battle before we equip that. Alright, once again, it's going to spit us back out in this central area. Yeah, okay. It'd be great if you could zoom out and get a wide-angle view of this place, but sadly, this is not possible. And jump back in here. Alright, now this time, really, I want to go right. I promise. I really do want to go right. Thank you. That pause always makes me feel like I fucked it up somehow and like I'm not, like it's gonna just, like it's just not gonna jump. And there we go, Rasaru helmet. Like a straight up helmet. Like keep in mind, you know, you guys haven't seen it, but up until this point in the game, most of Gala's headpieces have been either bandanas or like earrings or like, you know, nothing particularly impressive or like protective. And suddenly in this dungeon he gets a fucking helmet. It has a fucking visor too. Like wait till you see this fucking thing. I mean, you're not gonna see it in this battle, but you know what I mean. Anyway, there's a seal. You can't really see it, but if Vaughn, you know, clears the battle, then you will. Good old fucking Puera. I will make a concerted effort to try and absorb Gilliam just so you guys can see its attack, because its attack is pretty impressive. Like it does really good damage, and it's a really cool animation, and it's, you know, like I said about Thunder, like it's not really weak to anything. It is really expensive though, and the animation's long, so. Yeah. Get all those extra hits. When we get, so they're all gonna get weapons too, so you'll see some upgrades there as well. And Gala's weapon is actually one of the cooler weapons and more interesting weapons that I've ever seen in an RPG. Like it's basically, it's a club, but it's like a double-ended club. Well, actually, it's more of a mace. It's a spiked mace, but it's double-ended. So, you know, if you're holding it in front of you upright, you know, there's a spiked ball on top, you know, above your fist, and there's a spiked ball underneath. And the actual handle of it is, you know, it extends like those toy lightsabers in Party City. And so when he hits people with it, it actually extends outward from the momentum when he swings it. So like, you know, initially it looks like a little dumbbell, but like, or, you know, or a barbell or whatever they call those fucking things. But like, you know, when he swings it, it like extends out and it becomes almost like a pole. And it also, much like level 8 Terra, and, you know, Noah's Rasaru hits, you know, I showed you they hit twice. That club weapon that Gala gets also hits twice. I lied! There's 2 save points in here. I do not remember this one being here. It must be because I never save here. Or I never, you know, you save here just in case you die, but you never, like, keep a save at this spot. Like, everybody's save is always at the end. You know, or somewhere outside. I guess with that in mind, I'll put that one there. Oh, dude, what the fuck? Have to cut that out. I knocked something over and it hit the space bar, which somehow brought another window into the foreground, and so the emulator paused. Or the sound paused, rather. So make sure you cut that out. A reminder to myself, future Connor in post. Go ahead and equip Noah's Rossru plume so you can see that as well. Alright, so we are officially at the halfway point in the dungeon, although I think actually now we're like 3/5 of the way through, I think. And in this room, in this next, you know, sort of these next few chambers, you actually see this is where all of the inhabitants of Rim Elm are being, you know, stored. So we can talk to them, and I think several of them give us items. Vaughn? Vaughn, is that you, Vaughn? Yes, it's me. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who that is actually. Oh, Vaughn, please help us. Save me from this pain. It's a lost grail. Yeah, so here's another lost grail, even if you don't try and steal one from the slipperies. I guess it's like, you know... I mean, the lost grail is kind of balanced by the fact that the item breaks and disappears as soon as it activates. So it only works once, basically. Vaughn, it hurts. My whole body hurts. Anyway, here's Maya. There's a little cutscene here. Vaughn, it's you and Gala and Noah. I love how she still has that same pose. She kind of stands and swings her arms forward slightly and tilts her head back in a rhythmic fashion. And Noah gets all teary-eyed. I mean, how do you guys not know this? You saw it in Conquer. Obviously, it doesn't feel good. What do you mean, fight left in you? What the fuck? It's fucked up. Come on, let's go. It's time to take Juggernaut out for good. Hang in there, Maya. We'll get Juggernaut. I think she gives you something. Doesn't she give you anything? Nothing? Or you're just gonna give me this silent treatment. Alright, well fuck you too, lady. Roster and boots. Anyway, here's May. Now, if I wasn't a dumbass and had gotten, or May, I don't know. I always want to say May. Forgive me if that's not correct. It's just force of habit. I'm gonna stop correcting myself because it makes me babble and chew up time. Is that you, Vaughn? Is that you there, Vaughn? Are you all right, May? I've been looking for you, May. I don't really know which one of these is better. Sure. I knew you would come, Vaughn. But please, don't look at me. I must look so hot. It's like, oh my god. Oh my god, you're such a girl. You're thinking about your looks at a time like this? Jeez. I mean, yeah, you're just, oh my god. You're worse than like 90% of men, Noah. Jesus. Like, way to blow sunshine. Why would you thank her for that? That's obviously, yeah. I told myself I'd be strong. What do you mean you told yourself? Like, you actually had time to think those thoughts as Juggernaut was gobbling you up and fusing you into his insides? Like, it's like, all right, let me get my game face on. I've trained my whole life for this. Let me just get absorbed into this thing's intestinal walls and, you know, fight the power. God. Take this with you. So here. Yep. All right. So for completion's sake, you now have May's Pendant. You were supposed to get that at the beginning of the game. And at the beginning of the game, it was still a relevant item because it, what is it? Yeah. It increases your max HP by 10%. If you get this at the beginning of the game and you're not a dumbass like me, she gives you one of these instead. You know, which is obviously much better. But I think you can buy these, and so like, it really doesn't matter. It's not technically missable, it's just something I feel dumb about, because I don't think I've ever missed that before. I think the only reason I actually missed it was because I was, you know, in La La Let's Play land. So shoes. Anyway, here's my ingrate little sister. Neen, I'm scared, I'm so scared. Am I going to die? Tell me, am I going to die like this? Okay, I'll wait for you, I believe you. Jeez, like, finally she's... Be careful, don't be... Were you scolding me when you're, like... You're scolding me when you're fused to the internal organs of... yeah. Wow. Priorities. Anyway, here's level 3 Barras. And they are going to get an Iota. Because of course they are. And then Spirit. Yeah, see, like, I remember the last time I used Puera, it did like 1800 damage. That did 1800 damage for 30 less MP. Yeah, I don't think Iota gets enough credit for being the cheapest AoE Suru. Kimaro definitely gets a lot of buzz because its attack animation is sick, and you get it, you know, significantly earlier, you know, and it's really good against bosses, which is, you know, obviously more important. More important to do big damage to bosses than it is to do big damage to trash. But I believe Iota deserves a little shout out for being definitely, like, every AoE Suru after it isn't appreciably more powerful, but costs significantly more MP, you know, up until you get to the raw Suru, of course. You know, just one of those things that I noticed. I might have to equip Vaughn with the Magic Grail because he's definitely seems to be the go-to guy for the AoE Suru right now. I totally neglected to point out Noah's ridiculous headpiece, but I'm sure you guys saw it. It's kind of hard to miss. Giant wings sticking out of her head. Alright. Anyway. Onwards to Gala. Go ahead and give him his helmet now. And obviously we need to do some fucking healing. Jesus. And yeah, I guess I probably need to give on that Magic Grail. Anyway. Here's the village elder. I think he gives you something. I thought the mist was all gone. Are you calling me a fucking liar? Fuck you, old man. Oh, and here's Ixis's stupid ass. Ron, I thought you said the mist is gone. What's this then? What's all this then? What's going on? What's gonna happen to me? You're such a wimp. Fuck you. I can't move on. My body is paralyzed. Yeah, well, maybe now you can't be a fucking busybody and talk shit about people buying their backs and stuff. Yeah, you know what? I changed my mind. I'm leaving this place. You guys can rot in here. Fuck it. You guys are assholes. Here's Daddy-O. Don't worry about me. I'm alive. I'm fucking Val Kilmer, man. Like, you can't fucking kill me. More important is, what are you gonna do? Destroy Juggernaut! Head deep into the creature castle? Is that what this is called? It's actually not what the actual name of this dungeon is. The Bio Castle. That's what it shows under the save file if you save in here. So I don't know, maybe that's just a weird translation or something, but it just sounds really, like, dumb. Yeah, like, it's just kind of, I don't know, I always found it really, kind of a really odd piece of dialogue. Yeah. I see. I'm sure you can do it. Take this with you. Thanks, old man. I'm so proud of you. You better be. I did it all for you, Dad. Asshole. I'm just kidding. Who do I want to give this to? Let me check Vaughn's stats compared to Noah's. Wait, Noah's attack? Oh yeah, that's because she's got the, she's actually got a decent weapon equipped. UDF, LDF, both lower than Vaughn. Speed, higher. Intelligence, lower. Agility, higher. Well, I mean, we already knew that. Agility is the only stat that is never raised except for level ups and items. Agility controls how long your bar is. Like, you can actually see like what they were at base in the blue numbers in parentheses versus how much they've increased, either via your equipment or stat bonuses. I'm actually going to cut here real quick just so I can put this miracle water where it needs to go. Just let me look at this real quick. Alright, so I'm going to make the judgment call, and I'm actually going to give it to Noah just because she has remove these real quick. I really kind of want to unveil these one at a time in order so they can all, you know, get their proper appreciation. Next battle we'll see the roster helmet. I know it's weird, but you know, it also keeps me from like becoming too powerful too quickly. Not that it really matters. I'm sure I'd be steamrolling this place even if I had kept all my equipment off. But yeah, I'm gonna give Noah the Miracle Water just because the only stat she has higher than Vaughn is speed, and which, you know, wouldn't really bother me except for the fact that she's been kind of squishy in the last few boss fights. So I'm gonna go ahead and invest that in her. And okay, we're good to go. What was I doing? Oh yeah. I think that's all for this room, I want to say. Yeah, okay. So there's a super secret item that is completely hidden in this room. I know there's been a handful of items throughout the game that have been like hidden items that you just have to know where to look for them, like, you know, which spot to run over and press X, basically. Shit that's not in treasure chests. But by far the best one in the game is the one that you find in here, and it is along one of these walls. It's, I don't know where this place is. I want to say this is like lungs, maybe? I have no fucking clue. It's definitely very spongy. It makes me think of lungs. Yeah, you see these like sphere-shaped forms with the pathway down the middle. Like, it's kind of like these kind of half spheres on either side of me that have opened up. Yeah, on the right side of one of these, if you press X in the right spot, you get a metal goblet. Pretty sure it's the right side. I know there's a bunch more of them. Probably a little further in. Okay, slippery. once again, best option for summon magic damage would be Vaughn. So, okay. Yeah, there's Gala's fucking helmet. Like, look at that fucking thing. It's like a fucking space helmet. Like, it's even got, if you look closely, there's even like a visor. There's even like a shaded visor part that hangs down over his eyes. You can see, like, it's fucking crazy, dude. It's insanity. But yeah, just to reiterate, these level 3 slipperies can have Lost Grail stolen from them. Or maybe they drop them. If they drop them, it's like a stupid low drop rate. I know that much. But I want to say it's a steal. Meh. That sound effect that they make, like, is, like, really poorly... Oh my god. Oh shit, I totally forgot. Okay, yeah, alright, so, yeah. No, Slippery actually is, threatening in this, particular iteration. Holy fucking shit. Alright, Man, I don't even fucking know. You know what? Fuck it. Just, you know, fuck it. Torch these motherfuckers. Yeah, I forgot the level 3 slipperies have Moldy Breath. And it's AoE. So they can actually, like, tag all of your characters with mold at once and completely fuck up, like, all your shit. Yeah, I can't believe I forgot that. I must have, like, really steamrolled these things hard in my last playthrough. Because I don't remember that at all. Fucking Ausmus. I like, you know, the colors in the background and that whole, like, formation of, like, you know, flashing lights and swirling patterns and stuff. It vaguely, not strongly, like, it's not like a identical or uncanny resemblance, but it vaguely reminds me of Ausmus from Final Fantasy IX and later Final Fantasy 14. The big ball of fuck. The big swirly fucking marble ball of, like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die. This is the silliest super boss ever, but still, like, he is no joke. Still gotta do the post game in there. Yeah, anyway. So that's that taken care of. Alright. Oh yeah, we gotta equip some more stuff. Alright, I'll give Vaughn his boots. Alright, so Vaughn now has his full outfit. Save for his weapon. Alright, I'm pretty sure it's here. Oh, right there. Alright, fucking sweet. Alright, so this ridiculously amazing piece of this is, like, not the most, but definitely up there in terms of busted ass accessories in this game. Definitely one of the best ones. I mean, it's one of the best ones regardless, but I feel particularly good knowing about it and having it in this playthrough. Where the fuck is it? Oh, there it is. Metal Goblet. Yeah. AP remains at 100. So, like, it completely removes AP costs, like, altogether. So, like, combine that with, you know, once you're leveled high enough and your agility stat is high enough to where you have a full bar of 9, regardless of spirit, you know, you don't even need to spirit unless it's to reduce damage. But with that in mind, obviously the best candidate for this right now is Noah. And I say that strictly because with the help of an agility ring right now, or not an agility ring, but a vitality ring, which increases agility, that's not confusing at all. Seeing as vitality is an actual stat in like 90% of other RPGs besides this one, but here it refers to agility, whatever. So yeah, at this level, Noah with a vitality ring will reach 9 slots without spirit. We may even be at the point where Vaughn can too. But all the same, gonna keep it on Noah, and then move the compass over to wait, that wasn't a compass. Oh, it was the good luck bell, that's right. Where is it? Good luck bell, where are you? There it is. Like, I really wish accessories had, like, different icons so that they were a little bit easier to recognize, because a lot of times I just get lost in all this text. Like, there's chains, there's rings, there's books, there's talismans, but, like, they're never, when you unequip them, they never, like, unequip in order. So, like, if you unequip something, it doesn't go to the front or the back of the list, it just winds up in some random spot. I don't really get it. Okay. Okay. There was actually an item earlier in the game, the fire droplet. Remember the bombs that didn't, you know, that blew up early? Those time-space bombs we made with the fire droplet that we got from Urume's and or Maus, whatever. And you only have that fire droplet for a brief period of time, but in a normal playthrough, what you would do is you would go to the muscle dome and see if you can farm, use that item to basically farm the beginner and expert course. You don't ever do the master course until later in the game, not because you can't beat it necessarily, but because it's glitched and you don't actually get the reward for it if you do it early. That being said, man, Noah still has no Windsuru except for Terra. Like, that's fucking ridiculous. No Windsuru or AoEs, so there's not actually really anything to target these Iotas with. So I'm just gonna spirit, and Noah doesn't need to spirit, so fuck it. Just go ahead and pummel one of these poor bastards into the ground. And, well, yeah, we'll have Ausmus spirit. Or Gala spirit, whatever. Damn, tanky little bugger. Yeah, that's Vaughn's full getup, minus his weapon. God, that headpiece is ridiculous looking. But yeah, like, what a lot of people do is they'll get the fire droplet, and then they'll delay proceeding with the plot, because proceeding with the plot, you know, uses up the fire droplet to make the time and space bombs. But if you take a break then and go fight the muscle dome, the fire droplet basically has the same effect as the metal goblet. You know, but you don't get to keep it. But then later in the game, if you know where to look, you get the metal goblet. So it's like your patience paid off. Yay! Still no fucking win, Suru, for Noah. I just think it's hilarious. She doesn't have any Suru over element. Like, over the course of the entire game, never once. God damn it. Oh my god. Alright, so I'm actually going to cut out real quick here. Next battle I get into, I'm going to go ahead and have everybody just go ahead and equip everything. Just, you know, because. Really just Gala's boots, or Gala's thongs, the Rasaru thongs, which are technically sandals, although they're really more like, they're like if, you know those boots that like the stereotype is that hookers wear them, but they're like those leather boots that like go all the way up to the thigh. They're like those, but like armored, like tank armored. I don't know. Maybe those are, I don't know. Whatever. I'll be right back. Alright, so we've proceeded a little bit further. That last room is mostly linear. The first fork in this next room, you know, you veer off to the right and you get here, and there's the Rasaru Club. So that's the weapon I was telling you about for Gala, so we'll get to see that in the next fight. I'm gonna go ahead and just start putting stuff on. You know, all the armor is visible at this point, so really it's just the weapons. Wait, I think I need to go the other way. Yeah. Magic armband. What is it? I already have one of those, don't I? Fairly certain I do. Yeah. That's just a max MP increase. I've never used those, like, in any capacity ever. Like, they're, like, between the, like, spirit talisman, or the spirit jewel or whatever, and the magic grail, like, they're just unnecessary. In my opinion. Oh shit, son. Here's the level 3 Gilliams. Alright, yeah. They're so, like, bizarrely colored. Like, it's really weird. It's like, I know, objectively, I know that those colors are like, you know, a dull kind of yellow-orange, a dull kind of brownish red, and a sort of purple color. But for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm a man and I see colors weird. My wife likes to tease me about that because, like, I don't know, I think she showed me this article once that was like, you know, dudes see color differently than girls do. And, like, we don't, like, there's certain, like, not universally, I think, but I think in a general sense, like, statistically, like, men don't perceive certain nuances of color that are obvious to girls, or they perceive them, but they interpret them differently when they verbalize what they're seeing, which is closer to the truth, I think, at least from my personal experience. But, like, to me, this looks like just all sorts of mess, because it's like, to me, it jumps off the screen to me as like blue, red, and yellow. Even though I know that those aren't actually what the colors are, really. You know, because blue is Gala's fucking butt right now. obviously those aren't blue, but it still just comes at me as that combination, and obviously that's like a really like painful combination to look at because it's like all three primary colors slammed together. I don't know. I already spirited, didn't I? No, I didn't. Okay, never mind. I'm full of shit. I'm gonna go ahead and just like go fucking ham with Noah here. Actually, you know what I think I'll do is I'll do the yeah, that's a good idea. I'll do the tough love. Yeah, this is a good time to like start busting out tough love, or love you, whatever the super art is called. Just because it will, you know, if there's any enemies that you want to confuse, it's the enemies at this point in the dungeon, for damn sure. Yeah. Alright, now go fuck up your buddies. Leave me alone. Oof, this might hurt. I don't know, maybe it won't. Everyone's got all that fucking armor now. When I come back in here without all my armor, like, it's gonna suck. Okay, yeah. I have a strong feeling that that would have, if not killed Noah, definitely put her into the red. If, you know, if she wasn't, you know, if she didn't have all that armor available to her. Alright, what are we gonna do with Vaughn here? Let's see. Sure, we'll do that just for the sake of variety. Actually, I think I might want to heal here. I just don't want Noah to die. So that would be really annoying. Deal with the Gala. What the fuck am I saying? I'll have Gala heal. Hopefully the confused Gilliam gives the other ones shit, but, you know, maybe I won't get so lucky. Yeah. Nice. There we go. That's right. Fuck them up. Alright, so I was worried over nothing. I just didn't want one of them to use Thunderstorm and, like, you know, put Noah on the fucking floor. Because I don't have any Phoenixes. As far as I know, I'm not going to get any more. So, like, my sole method of reviving characters is either to win the battle and, you know, have them be brought back at 1 HP as per the mechanics of the game, or, you know, use Horn. And I don't even have Horn equipped right now, so. Alright, so do that, and Noah. What havoc do I want to have Noah wreak on these poor bitch-ass enemies? No. Actually, you know what? Yeah. Fuck it. Once I develop a consistent strategy here, it's not going to be anything like this for repeated battles. That, and I'll probably cut a lot of them out. Right, okay, so I'll go ahead and let you guys witness Gala's fucking club here. God damn, these things have a lot of fucking HP. I mean, it feels like they do at least. I still love that animation. I think it's really epic. Even if I don't like being hit with it, it's still a fun animation. Dude, man, they're really in doing his job. Alright, well, he's just gonna be that now. Oh man, another one? Fuck. That probably won't be that bad. I just want you guys to see the fucking wheelie club. I don't even know what to call it. Like the super extendy. Yeah, look at that. It like gets bigger. I guess it actually doesn't do that much damage. That was probably not a good use of... Like, Terra did way more damage. You know, actually, I think it's because, yeah, like, I think the Gilliams... Yeah, Gilliams resist Gala's physicals, so... It's just something we have to deal with. Hold on. No. Yeah. Yeah, resistances in this game are really, like, not in your favor. Like, you do more damage. Like, you get a bonus offensively from, you know, matching up elements, but you don't get a bonus defensively. Like, water enemies, like fire enemies, don't do less damage to Vaughn, but Vaughn does less damage to them. Like, it's kind of stupid. Or no, Vaughn does take less. No, what am I thinking of? What am I thinking of? Damn. I don't know, there's some sort of mismatch with it. I just can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Anyway, I'm gonna cut out the next few battles just because, like, even with cuts, this episode's getting pretty fucking long, so... Anyway, I'll be right back. I'll show you a couple more battles. We're almost at the end. Let me... Actually, I'll wait until the next battle before I cut, just because, don't want you guys to miss where the treasure is, now do I? Alright, so over here... No, wrong way. Did I go this way already? No, I did not. Alright, there's the Rasaru Fangs. That would be Noah's ultimate. Again, after this episode, I'm taking all this shit right back off. I'm only putting it on so you guys can appreciate the fucking badassery of seeing everybody all dolled up. Oh, fuck, it's fucking Pueras. I'll stay in on this just until they use Death Game, just so you can see how to, you know, the ridiculousness of dealing with it. So, you know, maybe... Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Go ahead and confuse one of them while I can. Yeah, these are the guys you can steal Crimson Books from. But their death game really is a pain in the ass, and it makes it really annoying to grind in this area even though it's, you know, noticeably more experienced than the, like, lung area immediately prior to this, where we were fighting the slipperies and iotas and stuff, I tend not to grind here because the Pueras just make it a huge pain in the ass. Like, you can't just, like, put on a movie and, like, just, you know, hammer through it. You have to be paying attention, because otherwise Pueras will fucking kill you. But, yeah. And even if you try and, like, wipe them with, like, you know, your Rossor or whatever, that just makes it so you have to, like, manage constant MP recovery. And a lot of times they'll go before you, because Pueras are, you know, stupid fast. Alright. Go ahead and try and confuse the other one as well. Me and Gala will gang up on this one. Up, here we go. Alright. Yeah, so there's only one choice. Yeah. Alright, that was easy. Yeah. So you kill the Puera or get killed. Like, there's no in between. Which is a huge pain because, like, you know, if you kill them in that fashion, you can't steal from them. And you also can't absorb them if you're trying to do that. So, it just makes Pueras just a fucking bitch. Wow. He fucked him up. Like... There we go. Thankfully, they don't have, like, a crap ton of HP. You know. Alright. Through blade. Alright, so that's it. Alright guys, I'm gonna get in one more encounter real quick. And that the sole reason for that is just so you can see the complete setup with everybody having all their shit. This right here is the final room before the boss fight, or before the final boss, I should say. And, you know, we're not going to be doing that. I'm actually going to run back out, and we're going to go do some side stuff, possibly, and the super boss. And then, well, that's if I can figure out how to get out of here. Okay. Obviously, I need to take this fucking... Where is it? This fucking good luck bell off. It's obviously more hassle than it's worth. Sure, whatever. Oh, I still need to put Von's sword on. Yeah. Alright, so yeah, that's the full set. It's all just like Rossor X. Rossor blade, seal, armor, boots, fangs, plume, robe, shoes, club, helmet, plate, thongs. Come on. I want to show my adoring fans my hero's clothes or something. Anyway, I go ahead and pan around here real quick. Yeah, so there's Noah, there's her crazy claws, Von's big-ass sword and his, like, crazy fucking armor, and Gala's, like, fucking mech suit over there. Jesus fucking Christ. I think I read somewhere that these boots that Von has actually make it so that he can hit floating enemies with low attacks. I feel like that was Von, but it might have been one of the others. So actually what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to try a string of combos that has a lot of lows in it and just see how that pans out for me. Blah 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 blah. These guys. Alright, so these guys definitely float, so theoretically, if I use a bunch of low shit against them, should miss. Alright, and then... Alright. See how much of this hits. Alright, no. Noah's definitely still missing. That's a no to that. No, Vaughn is... Hell yeah. Yeah, those, like, half of those were lows. And Vaughn was connecting with all of them. So yeah, those Rasaru boots let Vaughn low kick floating enemies. It's pretty fucking sweet. I can't remember if there was something similar for high kicks, like going over short enemies, but there aren't really any short enemies at this stage of the game. So, yeah, so that's a neat little advantage to keep in mind. Alright, so you guys have seen the entire dungeon at this point. I'm fairly certain that I got all the treasure. There aren't really any branching paths deviating from what we saw. I mean, yeah, there's branching paths, but we went down all of them. They're, you know, they pretty quickly dead end with some treasure and other stuff. But yeah, you guys have seen the entire final dungeon at this point, and then through that sphincter in the other room is the final boss. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut here, get out of here, take off all of this really awesome fucking gear. Sadly, I'm gonna take it all off, and then we're gonna go either do the super boss or do the muscle dome or both. Haven't decided which yet. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I will see you in the finale. Later.